Hello and welcome. My name is John and this is Loki and this is Camp Tales Dog Talk. Today we have a lovely guest with us, Heidi from Wildplay. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi John, thanks for inviting me. Yes, I'm Heidi, I'm from Wildplay. I am one of the co-founders and director of our company, which we started 2 years ago. We are an outdoor learning and forest school business that promotes the health and wellness benefits of spending time in the great outdoors. So obviously a little bit challenging at the moment, but we can probably chat about that a little bit later.
Absolutely, yeah. So tell us how we met, first of all, just to give people a little bit of a background, because we've got a few things in common, obviously.
We've got a few things in common, haven't we? So yeah, we met through the Theo Profita Small Business Sunday competition, probably it's about 18 months ago now, I think.
Yeah, it must be getting close to 2 years.
Absolutely, because we just entered and were lucky enough to be chosen, and obviously tried to get in touch with some other local people that had won, and obviously discovered that you had won previously the year before us. And so we met at the first event, which was amazing, and we've kind of stayed in touch ever since, which has been really good. I think we've all benefited from that, really.
Yeah.
And then we also won the Best New Startup Business Award at the Berkeley Award this year in October, and of course you were the Best New Startup winner the year before. So
lots of similarities. Yeah. So I'll come back to the Theo Theatres thing. Some people won't know who are watching this. Hopefully they will. But Theo Theatres basically runs a little Twitter competition every Sunday where businesses can basically pitch themselves to him. And there's 5 winners each week that he then follows, retweets, and basically gives loads of free publicity to his nearly 500,000 followers, I think he has.
Oh, loads, yeah.
It's crazy, and everyone goes through the same sort of process when you find out about it. You tweet on a Sunday. Some people win on their first try, some people take a few. I know you won, I think, on your second try, pretty much, wasn't it?
We won on our second try, yeah. But I mean, some people literally try for like 2 years.
Every week for 2 years and don't get picked, and we get invited to this lovely conference every year in Birmingham that Theo hosts. We get a nice photo with him, and he pretty much puts on a host of really inspirational speakers that I know personally I come away from it feeling really motivated as a small business owner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, we find out that we are less than 1% in the country because so many people try and get this award, but there's only a few that win. So we're in a very small percentage of the population who Theo sort of picked out. So it's a great honor to be picked, but also it brings together a little community of small business owners. You find out a lot about each other. You find out that you're all in the same boat. You have the same problems, the same successes, and it's just a lovely little community.
Definitely love it. Love being part of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, and then the other thing was the Berry Free Press Business Awards of Best New Startup, which again was incredible for anybody to win, because even though it's a local business awards, just to have that kind of recognition. I know personally when I won it, I was so overwhelmed, didn't expect it. I couldn't believe that we'd won, and it was like a very surreal time because we'd won like 3 things in the space of 6 months, and we didn't really think we were doing anything that special. We just look after dogs. But I know when I was speaking to you that you were almost oblivious to the point, because I strongly felt that you had a great case to win because you ticked so many boxes. You're so good in the community. What you did was very different. You'd had this great growth very, very quickly. So I was confident for you, but I know speaking to you before, you had no clue that you were going to win.
Oh my God, no, not at all. And we really, when you see the other finalists that have been selected, you look at them and you think, oh my gosh, there's some really good people here who are doing some amazing things. And I have to say the awards evening was brilliant. It was so well organised. It was such a lovely atmosphere, and we just decided that we'd go along for a nice evening, get dressed up, have a nice evening out, and actually that was going to be it, really. Yeah. So when we were fortunate enough to be selected, it was amazing. And it's just nice that you get that endorsement from people that what you're doing is really positive, because when you're in it yourself, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes with running a business that people have no idea about.
They literally have no clue.
Absolutely. And it's hard work, and we absolutely love what we do, but you know, when you are in the thick of it, you don't always see yourself, you know, you don't
As a
always have
small
the time
business
to
owner
stop.
or a success or
Exactly. Yeah, and reflect on what you do. So it's great to have that endorsement from other people, is fantastic. So yeah, really chuffed.
it's a pat on the back, and it's very well deserved as well, because it's that form of recognition that you're not necessarily striving for or craving, but you didn't
Absolutely.
realize that you needed for validation more than anything else, because we're all in our own
Oh,
little
absolutely.
bubbles
Yeah,
doing our
100%.
own thing. And yeah, it kind of gives you that, like I say, that little pat on the back that sometimes is just what you need, because it is tough
Yeah,
out there. And the
yeah,
current climate is an example of that. Everybody's going through it. Everyone's hurting with this lockdown. Businesses are going to
yeah,
struggle. Some will fail. Um,
yeah.
one of the reasons why we're starting this off now is it was a long-term aspiration of mine to do like a little chat type thing. Having done a little bit on radio and having lots of good feedback, I just wanted to talk about dogs with people, and found it quite
Mm,
interesting. And generally people have quite liked talking to me about dogs. So I thought, well, now's as
absolutely.
good a time as any to sort of start doing that. So
Yeah.
on that, would you like to introduce us to your dogs? Because that is obviously one of
I
the other
would.
reasons why you're on here.
Absolutely. The main reason that I'm on here is because of my dogs. So before I show them to you, they are both fast asleep at the moment. So,
That's fine.
which is good. So fingers crossed that it will stay that way. So we are the owners of the only 2 French Spaniels in Suffolk. When we got our first dog, Benson, who is 5 years old, he'll be 6 in May. There was one breeder in the country in North Yorkshire. And we've been thinking about getting a dog for a couple of years. We've done loads of research on what type of dog to get.
Yeah.
And the big criteria for me was, obviously we needed a dog that was going to be good with children, because my daughter, you know, my kids were really young, and that was a big factor. So we looked at labs, we looked at collies, we looked at, you know, all these different, you know, breeds of dog, and we're trying to decide what to get. And my husband and I both had dogs when we were kids, but kind of nothing in between. So it's, you know, it's a massive commitment, you know, when you decide to get a pet. It's a massive commitment. And you know, we decided that we wanted quite a large dog. We didn't want, you know, a little toy dog. You know, we wanted something that we could take for long walks and all that kind of stuff. So we stumbled across the French Spaniel website, realised there was one breeder in the country, did a bit of research, gave Nicole a ring, had a really good chat with her, and I just thought, this is it, this is amazing. And the next litter we're going to be ready to collect in the June, so perfect time going into the summer. So yes, we decided to get one, and then nearly 2 years ago we decided to get another one.
as you do. I'll probably fall down that route soon as well.
Oh my god! So I'm just going to move, and I'm just going to flip the camera around, John, and I'm hoping this is going to work. Okay, and I will show you my dogs. So this is Benson.
Bless him.
Fast asleep.
Very content and happy.
He really is, and as I say, he's 5 years old. Nearly 6, and he is just the most adorable dog in the world. Absolutely love him to bits.
And he's the older of the 2, yeah?
He is.
Your initial?
Yeah, absolutely. He's so gentle and so loyal. They are such a loyal breed. I cannot begin to tell you. Yeah, this is his favourite spot. When we got the dogs, we always said, "Oh, we're never going to allow them on the sofa." Well,
yeah. So, we all start that way, but we generally relax on that little bit.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to move around here, because this is Bramble.
Very content and happy as well.
So Bramble's the baby, and he's going to be 2 in May. Full of beans at the moment. Absolutely full of beans. You know, jumps around. You know, I have to say that French Spaniels are not quite as scatty as Springers.
Well, I was just about to say, what for people who don't know anything about the breed, because a lot of people probably wouldn't realise there's such a thing. They're probably very used to the traditional Springer Spaniels, Welsh Springers even possibly, but not necessarily French. What is the main sort of difference between them and standard Spaniels?
So, to look at, they're much bigger. That's the first
Yeah, you
thing.
can see
So
they're a lot
they
larger. They're
are,
not quite
yeah,
lab size, but yeah,
they
still very
are,
large.
yeah, they are. They're big dogs. And
Mm.
in fact, you need to come and meet my dogs.
I do.
We need to do that, John.
When we're
So
allowed
just
to.
when we're allowed out,
to.
when we're
Yeah.
allowed out. So they're much taller. They have long legs, and people think that they are. I'll just flip back again. There we go. People think they are a cross between a Springer and a Setter.
Yeah, you can see the sort of long curls.
Yeah, or people also think that they are a cross between a Setter and a Pointer.
Okay.
Okay, so they are the oldest hunt point retrieve breed. Most commonly found in France, Holland, Canada, places like that. And they, so they're a lot taller. Very much, as I say, hunt point retrieve dogs. Just need to be in the field, need to run, need to point, need to hunt. That's their thing.
Spaniel basically energy, which is really a lot of the thing that people struggle with, is dealing with that energy and how to sort of direct it in the most positive way.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
do need a lot.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we walk our dogs twice a day, every day. My husband will take them out very early in the morning in the fields, and they have a really good run. And obviously, at the moment, with the current situation in the afternoon, it's a different story at the moment, isn't it?
It's strange. It's one thing that I'm trying to keep in contact with a lot of our sort of customers at daycare, is to make sure that they're keeping an eye on their dogs, because this whole change is very difficult for them to understand. We can understand the reasoning behind social distancing, and we can accommodate changes in routine quite quickly. Even though we don't like it, we can adapt. Dogs aren't so flexible. They can pick up new routines very quickly that sometimes can't be maintained. So one of the main things I'm sort of advising a lot of people is to try and keep some of your old routines as much as you can, but don't inadvertently start new ones that you're not going to be able to stick with when you go back to the new normal, whatever that might be. So if you're starting to take your dog out on lots more walks than they used to, even though people are going out less, you don't want your dog to suddenly think that you can go out at 11 a.m. in the morning if you're not going to be there, because what will eventually happen is the dog will start to develop separation anxiety issues because they're with you all the time.
Exactly. So we've stuck to our routine, I have to say, which is working quite well. They're, I mean, these guys will ordinarily have a really good run in the morning in the fields. They'll conk out during the day, and then I'll take them out mid-afternoon, either in the field ordinarily, or at the moment it's a road walk just round where we live. But actually that sort of half an hour road walk is just as good for them on the lead, because it's different smells, it's different stimulation, and they can get just as tired from that in half an hour as they can do in a 5-mile run. So
this is the thing that a lot of people want to try and think about, is being smarter with when you take your dogs out. Because if for argument's sake, we're all only allowed out this one bit of exercise with your dogs, if you've got multiple in the household, you're probably better off trying to split that responsibility, even though you'd like to go out for a family walk, perhaps. Maybe give responsibility so your dog gets multiple forms of exercise, because they will need it. But then it's being a bit creative when you do go out for walks, so you're working them mentally as well as physically, which actually relaxes them a lot quicker, and it's far more beneficial to them. So when we do things at camp, it's a lot about brain engagement and stimulation, so we can sort of squeeze in a lot of positivity in such a small period of time that's far more valuable than a dog walk here and there, just by being in and around other dogs. So it's a new challenge.
It is. And I have to say, obviously, with my children being off school at the moment, my son is a really active little boy and loves sport. And one of the things that we're doing every day is we have a large garden. We're very fortunate for that, and we take the baseball bat out every day, and we hit some balls. And Bramble in particular, he's always loved a tennis ball, and he'll get the ball, he'll bring it back, and we'll play that for half an hour, and then he's flat out, and that's his thing. And when this situation changes, I think that will have to be part of our new routine, that each day we just play with that.
Yeah, without
because
realizing, yeah, you're almost teaching them that this is what we're going to do now on a regular
yeah,
basis. And it only takes a few times for them to suddenly, particularly if it's positively rewarding for them,
yeah,
it will become part of their DNA, and they're like, oh, I want to do this now. And then they'll be
yeah,
confused when they suddenly can't do it. So
absolutely.
yeah, it's about adapting and making sure that we can help our dogs as best we can, because they unfortunately don't quite understand. Bless them.
Definitely.
So yeah,
And I think the other
yeah,
thing that we've tried to do is, try and keep I mean, yes, they know that we're here all the
mm,
time, but, we don't just sit around on the sofa, petting them every day, because
yeah,
they'll get used to it. We literally will leave them be, leave them on their own,
yeah.
leave them outside, all the things that, I mean, obviously, because I run my own business, I spend some time at home doing that. So I just carry
They're
on
used
doing
to
the
you
things
being
that
in and about, which is actually
they
really,
are.
really good. For
Yeah.
these people
But
who are suddenly
we're
at
just
home when they're not used to, it's different.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
What are you doing? What's his treat? This is how I get him to sit with me. It's just bribery. So this is
Yeah,
me
you see, that's
conditioning him
really
to be
good.
in front of camera and quite happy. Bless him, because he's my little
Great.
bit of a rock, and you're like, oh, focus, good boy. So weirdly, that actually leads me on quite nicely. So a lot of what you do has wellness at its core.
Hmm.
So probably a common theme I'm going to talk to people about on this little doggy podcast that I'm creating
Yeah,
is the benefit of dogs and mental wellness more than anything else,
massive.
because I know that my dog is incredibly helpful to me. I know a lot of stories of where dogs have helped people, but
Yeah.
what do you think your dogs mean to you so far as a wellness point of view?
I think for every single one of us in our family, they are so valuable. We would be lost without our dogs now. And, you know, things happen in your life, don't they, to all of us? Stuff happens. And I think we don't realize how much our dogs mean to us until we're in that position.
Yeah,
And, we say just going out with our dogs every day, whether it's on our own. My husband likes to walk by himself when he takes them out. Family walks are great, but he really enjoys it on his own
I
and
do as
just
well.
getting out there. Yeah.
Yeah,
It just gives
it's
you
a weird
headspace.
thing, because you just literally, yeah, the headspace thing. You can just clear your mind. You
Yeah,
focus on the dog. You have this ball of just pure positive energy that there's nothing
absolutely.
negative about them, and
Yeah.
they just, yeah, they just relax you. It's such a strange phenomenon, and I didn't realize it until I got a dog 5.5 years ago. How old are you
Yeah.
now? You're nearly 6. God. So it feels like a long time ago, but it's one of those things. I knew probably after about 6-7 months, he changed my whole outlook. Obviously, leading me to start my own business revolved around
Yeah.
dogs. So it's quite a lovely
Yeah.
story from that point of view. But he just changed the way things. Going out for a walk no longer was a chore; it was something to look forward to. And he was generally the highlight of
Exactly.
my day. Sitting in an office, and yeah, he was sat beside me like this. Is which is why he's used to this.
Yeah.
I used to sit at a keyboard doing work, and he used to sit here waiting for our lunch break, which was the best part of the day. We would go out for a walk in the woods, teach him some
Yeah.
new tricks, and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
created this incredible bond.
Do you know,
But yeah,
I
you
once
don't
worked with a
realize.
lady. I once worked with a lady who said, she wanted to lose weight, she wanted to get fit, and I said, well, you should. This is going back years, and she
Mm,
said, I said, oh, you should go for a regular walk every day, half an hour. She said, I can't go for a walk. I don't own a dog. And
yeah,
I thought,
this is the
isn't
thing.
that
It's
interesting?
not illegal.
Isn't
It
that
takes away the
interesting?
barrier. It's incredibly interesting. But you know better than everyone, because you promote outside wellness.
Yeah,
But the dog is almost a facilitator, because you then have this thing that needs it, so it forces you out of your
yeah,
comfort zone, and it helps people with
definitely.
their own anxieties. It helps people with social issues, because
Yeah,
you'll meet other dog walkers and they're all friendly.
definitely.
So, oi, what was that? Don't distracted by some postman, I think. So it's so wonderfully beneficial for people, and they don't realize it. So you get out there, even though we can't at the moment due to social
Yeah,
distancing. When you do get out there, you meet these lovely people, find out you've got lots of stuff in common. The dogs love
absolutely.
it, because dogs need that
Yeah.
socialization too. So it's just, yeah, wholly positive all round. So
It is, and when you've had a good day or a bad day, you come in through the front door. They're there. They are
yeah,
always pleased to see you. I've never.
unconditionally. Yeah,
They are. The dogs don't get a grump on if they've had a bad day. For them, it's
yeah,
every day's the same, and they are so loyal. And we definitely wouldn't be without our boys. We love them to bits. I mean, they drive me
yeah.
around the bend sometimes, but we absolutely
So
love
on
them
that,
to
what's
bits.
been your biggest challenge having the one and then the two dogs?
Yeah, we did. We thought about it long
Curve
and hard,
question.
actually, getting a second one. Yeah, we did. And we moved house a couple of years ago, nearly 3 years ago. And one of the many reasons for moving house is that we knew we wanted to get another dog, and where we were before, we didn't feel we had enough space for two.
Yeah.
So, well, with this type of breed of dog, anyway, there wasn't enough space.
And you were set on French spaniels at that point, as a lot of people 100%. Do. You get one breed, and then you're set for life, pretty much.
100%, yeah, 100%. And so yeah, but we did think long and hard about it. We spoke to the vet as well. We got some good advice. We spoke to our breeder, and I think we were very serious about it, and we weren't just going to jump in with both feet and then it go horribly wrong, because that wouldn't have been fair on Benson. It wouldn't have been fair on anybody. So so we did that. I mean, in terms of challenges, I mean, Benson he's so placid. Bramble, being the young, ridiculous thing that he is at the moment, will always try and chew his ears off and play and jump around and
the puppy,
but we know that will change. He's 18 months old. He's still a bit crazy and ridiculous, but it's nice. You see them change every 6 months. You almost see another change, and it's great actually that when they do, tear around the garden and play with each other, it's lovely to see that. So we haven't had too many issues, other than Bramble's been a chewer, I have to say. He's got through 3 sofas.
Really?
Yeah, arms on sofas. When we moved, we inherited a sofa from a family member, and we just said we're not going to buy new, because what's the point? We've got dogs, and so he's done that, but he hasn't really chewed kind of like furniture or doors or any of that stuff.
Just the sofas. He's got a taste for sofas, probably when he was younger.
Just the sofa. When he was younger, he'll still take. If you leave something lying around, he'll still take it. He's very food orientated. You cannot leave any food lying around at all. Whereas Benson's never really been bothered about that stuff. So they're quite different in some ways. But yeah, they've got their own character, haven't they?
They have, yeah. But it's interesting you say they're different. That's one thing that we point out to a lot of people, particularly when they're considering a second dog. You're never going to get the same thing. No. If you've sadly lost a dog, it's never about replacement. It's about replacing what you've got to give, not the dog itself.
Yeah.
And just because you've got one breed, particularly, there's a lot of breed traits that are predetermined with a dog, and then there's lots that you nurture out as an owner. So I'm quite a keen believer in that there's no real bad dogs out there. There's just bad owners, or owners who don't necessarily know exactly how to get the most from their dog. Sure. So it's what you put into your dog, you'll get out at the end of it. So you literally get the dog you deserve. So that's why we see so many lovely owners, and they're all so committed and do lovely things, and they ask all the nice questions and about for the benefit of their dog, which we love hearing. Oh, you don't help yourself, Loki, sit. Thank you. But it just goes to show you, because we've seen every breed you can imagine, and you'll see sort of different levels of confidence right the way through the breed spectrum, just because we see so many. And it just proves that there's this massive nurture aspect that we can impart on the dogs, and they do mirror your own personalities, but also that they're attuned to your emotional differences as well. So that's why they
and Benson in particular, I would say, he knows if one of us isn't quite right. He knows, without a shadow of a doubt, and that's really, really interesting. And I've heard other people say that as well. A friend of mine has got a lab, and she had a gallbladder out. I don't know, just over a year ago or something, and her dog did not leave her side. He just knew. Yeah. They just know.
Yeah, it's lovely. Bless them. Good boy, Loki. So one final thing then. So what do you have on currently? And give yourself like a little shout out. Give you a platform, basically, to say what you've got going on currently.
Gosh, well, it's just been the weirdest time, isn't it? And what have we got on at the moment? Well, obviously all of our practical sessions are off at the moment, and we are just doing our best to show up every day on social media, keep things rolling. We are about to launch this week an exciting, hopefully,
You can say it because it's probably
challenge.
going to be, that's going to start before this goes out. So you can talk about it if you like.
The big challenge, the big Wildplay challenge, or Wildplay big challenge, I should say, which is going to be to engage children, motivate them, keep them busy over the next 4 weeks. That's the idea. So we've been busy behind the scenes doing that. We've been giving out lots of freebies to local children who attend our Explorers Holiday Club, because of course this next 2 weeks we should be ram-packed busy with holiday clubs, and we're not. So we've given out goodie bags to loads of our local Explorer children, just to keep them busy and active.
So without understanding, this is like a big deal for anyone who's now seeing this. This is going out over and above, which is what us as small businesses try to do to help, because I think a lot of parents and a lot of dog owners are probably realising the effort that people who care for their loved ones put in. So teachers are suddenly far more valuable than people ever realised. The people who look after children on holidays so they can carry on and do their things, like you, us looking after their dogs, people are finding out literally there's value to this. So you going over and above, helping these parents out, because they're probably very much struggling of what to do. You've got to stay inside to a certain extent, but the last thing people want is kids sitting on the PlayStation or Xbox or whatever to sort of keep them distracted. So the more you can do from a creative standpoint is, and what I've seen on your posts on social media, is just incredible for kids to be able to do that, and the parents, I bet, are so grateful.
Well, we hope so, and I just think it's right now, because we don't know how long this is going to be. This is the problem, isn't it? If everybody knew that by say July we were going to be back to normal, that would be fine, because
we'll take it. Carry on.
We don't know. So I think it is just about, showing up, doing the right thing, keeping people busy, occupied, and, at the end of the day, the types of people that, you are and we are, we just want to help people. We just want to help to make a difference and add value to people. So the more we can do on that, the better. So that's what we're up to at the moment. We keep trying.
Lovely. Well, I'll put like links and stuff in the description, because I've heard that's what people do. So we put your social media details and things like that, so people can post and follow, like and share, because that's really valuable to us as small business owners. If you can like, share, comment, follow what we do, every little bit helps. It doesn't cost anything, but it shows that people appreciate what we're doing. So with that, thank you very much. Do you want to see
the boys again before we go?
Yeah, definitely put them on,
because they haven't moved.
Oh no, this is great. Yeah.
I haven't moved.
I'll say go and just sort of wave and say goodbye.
Still down there.
Oh, he raised his eyebrows there. He was like, "Yeah, not really bothered."
Laying on his scabby old dog tail. So he's flat out there. He'll probably stay there for a little bit longer until he hears me open the back door, and then they'll both leap up. 100 miles an hour. And you're there, aren't you? There you go. There.
Hard to be a dog. No worries in the world currently.
It's not a bad life, is it?
No, definitely not. Right, I'm gonna try, Loki. Gonna wave. Wave. High five. Yeah, this isn't gonna work on camera when I'm not facing.
It's not, is it? It's not happening.
High five. Go on, you can do it. Yeah, good boy. Well, thank you very much.
No problem. It's been great to see you, John.
You too. Thank you.